Hello everybody. We're going to examine Microsoft Loop today. I don't commonly see this these days. However, after using Loop, you'll question how you manage to function without it. First, let's examine how individuals used to work in the past and how Loop will bring about changes. In the past, you would usually open a new document to work with others. You would enter some ideas by typing, after which you would save it and share it to others, primarily via email. Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides now made their appearance, and you can now work with people in real time. What a huge breakthrough, and it significantly changed how individuals operate. However, you still needed to recall which document you were in. What app were you using, as well? Bring it on, Microsoft Loop. Loop enables you to create content, capture ideas, and collaborate with others in real time and from anywhere. So far, it sounds a lot like what we already have, so let's get things going. Now imagine yourself participating in a Microsoft Teams chat and a table is inserted. Another person has now joined you in this chat and they're now able to add to that table, and such modifications are visible to you instantly. Now imagine that same table appearing in an email correspondence, and the table in the email is altered by someone, and the Teams chat is now displaying those identical modifications. Or perhaps there's a user in OneNote and the OneNote contains the identical table and adjustments are made there, and the two email messages now reflect those modifications as well as on the team chat. And from any location, all of this takes place in real time. Once more, this will alter the way you work. If you're struggling to come up with a use for something like this, imagine yourself brainstorming and a meeting's agenda. Perhaps you're compiling a status report. You may receive updates from some folks via email, others in the chat. This everything comes together automatically, or imagine yourself attempting to take notes for a group meeting. With Loop, all of these are now a lot simpler. We'll begin by examining the element's primary loop in this video. Next, we look at how you can begin the loop immediately. Anyone is able to begin using it. Next, we'll examine how Loop stacks up against some of its rivals, such as Notion, and we'll take a quick look at what's coming up next. Loop consists of three main components. You have Loop components, Loop pages, and also Loop workspaces, and we'll go over each one of them in detail and the timing of each use. The first one is a Loop component, and in reality, you are already aware of this. This is the table from the earlier example that we examined, but a vote table can also be on there. It might be a text paragraph, and there are many other components. Basically, all of these components have the magic of staying up to date regardless of where they show up. Once more, a table might be added to a Teams chat, in an email, in a OneNote, in a Word document, and they will all be up to date and in sync to provide you with the most recent data. The Loop page is the next element you will encounter. Essentially, this is just a bigger canvas on which various components can appear. I have a table here in this example. I have a text paragraph, and I've got a status list as well, and every single one of these is a separate component. However, they are all live together on this single, larger page. The last element is known as Loop workspaces. Additionally, this standalone application aids with project organization. You can add Loop pages to a workspace, yet you can also include different kinds of content. For instance, you could add a Word document, a spreadsheet, a link to a website, any type of content. Thus, once more, this can best be described as similar to a file explorer. As for your project, though, additionally, you can collaborate with others in this space. It's time to put it to the test. Fortunately, anyone with a Microsoft account from work or school can immediately test this out. Let's investigate this. Loop can be launched straight from a Microsoft Teams chat window. However, Loop will eventually be accessible from almost any place. Together with the senior leadership team, I would like to finalize our product list at the Kevin Cookie Company. Thus, I'm in Microsoft Teams doing that, and I'll click into this chat message. I can see the Loop icon beneath the text field down below. The Loop logo is this. As soon as I click this, all of the various Loop components that I can insert are visible to me. Once more, I would like to create a list of products, and I believe that a table will be ideal for that. I'll click on the table here. I'll then add some table headers after that and observe that. Patty, Nestor, and Diego have just joined us. How am I aware of this? Okay, this way, in the upper right corner. These icons let me see who is in the room right now. This way over here, this loop component's permissions are also modifiable by me, so that I may decide who has access. I'll stick with these configurations. In addition, if someone else wants to collaborate with us on this table, I can copy the link here and invite people. Indeed, observe that Patty is already typing something in the table she's entering, looks like double chocolate chip. Nestor appears to be typing something in. Let's investigate the sriracha mint cookie. Unexpectedly, and it appears that a couple more entries were received. I arranged the table a little off. I should have put the name first, so let me actually drag and drop that column over. Yes, I think the rainbow cookie idea is extremely cute. To find out who submitted this, I could simply hover over, and it appears Diego was the one. I am able to hit the / key twice here and thus enable me to post a comment. I adore this concept. Down below, I can see the rather pricey sriracha mint cookie. Here I can also enter its symbol to mention someone, and when it mentions someone it'll show up in their activity feed, so that way they don't miss my message. Here I'll type in at Nestor. Why is the cost so exorbitant? Well, it appears that Nestor mentioned me again, and he claims that we did indeed see some for this price, and it makes them more desirable. Okay, that makes sense, now that we have completed adding products to our list for the upcoming year. I also wanted to know what everyone thought would be the best slogan. That is, directly beneath the table, I would like to add another component. I can now hit the / key here, and this displays to me the list of every component. I'm going to employ the component called paragraph, and let me type in what I think a good slogan is. It appears that Patty entered and she changed the slogan. Okay, so Patty is in charge. I suppose that now we have a new slogan. Even so, we began this conversation on the Teams chat. This is a conversation that we can actually continue from any place. For instance, it's Nestor here. By coincidence, he's using the Office app, and this time, when Nestor modifies in the Office app to the paragraph component, it also shows up in the Teams chat. Now, once more, OneNote, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and even several third-party apps may also have this. That will all happen very shortly. There's a link up above that takes me to the relevant loop page, and when I click on this, my loop page opens. Once more, a loop page is just a bigger canvas on which you may arrange and work on all of your various loop components. And my table is just here, and I can also see the text paragraph. Up above, I can also see the storage location for these loop pages. When I click on it, that takes me to my OneDrive account. As a result, OneDrive stores this file as a .fluid file. There are many advantages to using Bing and OneDrive. I may share this fluid component here. I am able to set permissions. The data governance is likewise manageable by me in the same way as any other Office file. One concern that you may have now is, however, what if someone enters? And perhaps they deleted data, or perhaps they include something that wasn't necessary. In other words, exactly like with any other OneDrive file. I am able to view the version history, and I could access any previous iteration of this file in this manner, now that a loop page has been added. You may be asking yourself, how can I revisit this in the future, then? Back in Microsoft Teams, here. The component can be pinned to the chat. You might just click on that in this manner, and you'll return to that table as a result. It was also available on Teams Mobile, and here, if I choose to view it in a Microsoft Teams channel. The URL of this loop page can be copied by me, and I'm able to expand the channel with a new tab. This makes it possible for any channel member to access this loop page from outside of Microsoft Teams and return to your loop page. OneDrive can be utilized. Just click on the Microsoft Teams chat files in OneDrive, and my loop page is shown here. I may utilize Microsoft Search as well. I'll type Sriracha Mint here and then search and look at that. I can view my loop page here once more. I have access to Office.com as well, and it appears to be one of my most recent files. Clicking on the ellipses here allows me to add it to my favorites. Here on the iOS and Android versions of the Office app. When I click Favorites, here I see my loop page once more. As we were running through this, you may have noticed some parallels between this and another well-known app called Notion. Notion also has the concept of a workspace of pages, and they offer a significantly larger catalog of components than Loop does now. Therefore, as opposed to Notion, why would you choose something like Loop? When it comes to advantages, Loop has two over Notion. Among these is the extent of its integration with Microsoft 365. It is currently available for use in Microsoft Teams chat on Office.com. Now you gain access to all of OneDrive's management features. However, in addition to that, you will be able to use the components directly in Outlook email in OneNote, in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint plus additional apps, thus making it really usable anywhere in the Microsoft app ecosystem. The second key advantage is that the Loop workspace is designed to be a view of your entire project and all of the several associated contents. You are not limited to having a Loop page, but you could also have a spreadsheet, a Word document, a link out to an external site, so it truly is the file explorer for your project. Today, we only looked at the basic components and pages. However, much more is on the horizon. We discussed workspaces, and that will soon be accessible. In addition, a greater variety of components will be released. Now you'll be able to apply components in even more locations in addition to having access to additional kinds of components. If you found this video helpful, a quick subscribe would mean a lot to us. Thanks for watching.